This is Mike, Seder 42 Vinyl. I'm going to do another video. This video is going to be a response to a contest video that another YouTuber put out called Josh Keach. And in his channel, he plays guitar and he also reviews metal albums and just talks about, his collection and metal in general. And for his 400 subscriber, celebration, he did a contest, or he's doing a contest. And that contest is to show 4 albums to get people into metal and 4 of your favorite bands. I'm going to kind of combine that because in general, my videos tend to be a little bit longer because I add music and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do 4 of my favorite bands, and I'm going to combine that with 4 albums from those bands that I think will be accessible to people who like different genres of music currently that aren't necessarily heavy metal. So I think it's going to be, I think I have an interesting take. I don't know. Let me know, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, like, if you're into a certain genre of music or like a certain type of music, you may like these bands or albums. So the first album I'm going to talk about is, okay, say if you dig pop music, right? You like pop music, and the reason why you like pop music is because freaking hooks, the choruses, they're so good, infectious, earworms, and, you're really digging that part of pop music. Well, there is a band called Ice Nine Kills that does pop metal music, I would say, that is so infectious. Like, all the choruses are almost immediately sing-alongable, like they are earworms. And also, if you like horror movies, I think that you'll love this band as well, especially with their past 2 albums. This is the Horrorwood, and their other album is The Silver Scream. And both of those albums, all the songs have to deal with different horror films. Like, some of the horror stuff on here is like Resident Evil. There's a song here about the Chucky movies. There's a song about Pet Sematary. They have a song on the other album about Silent Night, Deadly Night, the Christmas horror movie. And so many references to horror in their songs that it's just really good. So if you like horror movies and you like pop music, I think that this is a band that would be pretty easily accessible because there's clean vocals for most of the choruses, but there is growling vocals for the verses and stuff. But for the choruses, it's mostly clean vocals, and when he sings his clean vocals, the choruses are just like super melodic, super sweet, and really memorable. Lots of earworms on here. So if you like pop music and you want to get into heavy music that has pop sensibilities, I think that Ice Nine Kills is a really good place to start for that.
Patrick, where are you going?
I'm just leaving.
But why?
I have to return some videotapes.
You'll find no escape once you're captured on tape. I'm aware it's a bit avant-garde. Casually cleaving without ever grieving. But wait, let me give you my card. Oh, there is no real injustice or identity that cannot be redeemed. So it's hard to say goodbye. So to hell with good intentions. So to hell with where I'll go. But the devil makes exceptions for all American psychos. Hold my calls, I'll kill them all. So to hell with good intentions for all American psychos. Do you like Ice Nine Kills?
Not really.
Their early work was a little bit too scene for me, but when The Silver Scream came out, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a refined melodic sensibility that really makes it a cut above the rest. Hey, Paul!
Okay, so If you like adventure movies or fantasy movies, or if you're just a huge fan of like Lord of the Rings, or if you play D&D like Dungeons and Dragons and you're not into metal, that'd be interesting. But a band that in their early years wrote a lot of songs about Lord of the Rings and had a very specific album that they made, which was basically about what the Ring of Power TV series is about on Amazon, which is the Silmarillion book that Tolkien wrote, but it's the prequel to Lord of the Rings. And I'm talking about Blind Guardian. This is the album Nightfall on Middle Earth. This is basically an album that is about the Silmarillion story from Tolkien, and it has all the characters. It has even cutscenes in the middle in between songs where there's like dialogue and stuff like that. So it has kind of like a rock opera type feel to it. It's got very clean vocals. Hansi Kirsch is a great vocalist. A lot of people like this band if you're into, and this is a power metal band. So, you know, if you like melodicism, similarly to Ice Nine Kills, but in a little bit different way on this album, very upbeat power metal is. It's not like, you know, death metal where it's, you know, or black metal where it's all dire and, you know, all down tuned. I don't know much about musicianship or anything like that, or guitar tones or anything like that, or chords, but I feel like this music is more upbeat than it is downbeat, you know. It makes you feel good when you're listening to it. It makes you feel happy instead of, you know, aggressive. But yeah, if you like Lord of the Rings, if you're a big fan of fantasy, this is a great band to start your journey into metal with. And there's lots of other bands like this that have fantasy lyrics and high falsetto vocals, very melodic choruses. Hammerfall would be another good example. There's just a ton of power metal bands out there, but Blind Guardian is one of the best, and this is one of the best albums.
No sign of life did flicker, in floods of tears she cried. All hope's lost, it can't be undone. They're wasted and gone. Save me a speech, yes I know. What you want, you will take it away from me. Take it and I know for sure. The life she was brought in is gone forever. Like sorrowful seagulls they sang, lost in the deep chase, the misty cloud far.
All right, so if you are a person who is into musicals, say you like Wicked, right? Wicked came out recently at the theater. You're a huge fan of, theatrical musicals and stuff like that. Well, there is a band called Sabotage that wrote an album called Streets, and Streets is a rock opera. It even says here, Streets, a rock opera. So this is very theatrical music. This also has dialogue and stuff in between songs. Very theatrical, This is considered power metal as well. This album in particular is kind of unique in their discography, where it's a full story, kind of acted out in, music, just like a musical. Every song is a part of the story, and it just keeps continuing and continuing. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it just has that rock opera feel. If you've ever listened to Jesus Christ Superstar, now this is heavier. This is a heavy metal version of that, but you would get the idea, So Jesus Christ Superstar is a rock opera as well, but it was from the 70s, and this would be the 90s version of a metal rock opera. If you like Meatloaf, if you like that kind of music, more theatrical, I think theater nerds would love this. So if you're that type of person and you like musicals, I think that Streets, a rock opera would be a great place to start your heavy metal journey.
Darkness falls so hard. Come and play.
And finally, in the same vein, maybe if you like horror stories, if you like ghost stories, if you like weird, macabre stories, if you like your music to have a concept, well, King Diamond is where you want to go, because King Diamond writes basically stories with his albums. They are fully concept albums. This album, The Puppet Master, is a fully realized story from beginning, middle to end. It also has some sections where there's dialogue. You can read along, and it has like suspense. It's a horror-driven story. This is about, a puppet master who collects people and turns them into puppets. puppets, you know, human-sized puppets. So it's really, really interesting, creepy, scary. And King Diamond has great falsetto vocals along with some of his little bit of growly voice. That's one thing that would be a little bit of a barrier getting into King Diamond because of his vocal style is very unique, but it's very theatrical, operatic, you would even say, some people would. And I think that he is a great, great, great artist. You know, if you like your music to have story, concepts, creepy stories, they're all kind of little horror stories. Some of them are ghost stories, some of his albums. Some of them are just, you know, murder mystery stories. There's one about voodoo. There's all kinds of themes that King Diamond touches upon on all his albums. And The Puppet Master is a great place to start for this because it is one of his better albums and it has a really good story. This one has a really easy to follow story too. Great album. And all of these bands, not only are those albums great and they're really cool to get into heavy metal with, if you like any of those, if you like a certain type of music currently, it would be easy to jump into some of this stuff. And also, you know, like King Diamond is one of my favorite bands of all time. Sabotage is one of my favorite bands of all time. Ice Nine Kills is one of my favorite newer bands. Blind Guardian is also another one of my favorite bands. So I kind of doubled up there. Hope that's not cheating, Josh, but that's how I thought I'd do the video. Awesome. Thanks, and talk to you later. Bye.